If you enjoy watching house hunters and your biggest guilty pleasure is looking at beautiful homes on Pinterest, you've come to the correct spot. We compiled a list of the largest, greatest, and most extraordinary mansions in America. Some are national landmarks or official governmental mansions, while others are individual residences, and a few are maybe for sale right now. Do you have a few million to spare? Regardless, you'll enjoy getting a glimpse into these opulent mansions and their unique histories. Let us take a look at architectural gems of the United States. At number 1 is Alabama Governor's Mansion. In 1907, Alabama Supreme Court Justice Robert Ligon Jr. commissioned architect Weatherly Carter to design this neoclassical residence in Montgomery. The family resided there for 43 years, and soon before her death, Ligon's wife Aileen requested that the state use the home as the governor's official residence. Alabama bought it after some controversy in 1950. The governor's mansion is currently open to the public for tours, allowing visitors to see the drawing room, parlour, solarium and reception hall. At number 2 is the Russian Bishop's House. The colonial architecture displayed in the Russian Bishop's House, a majestic residence in Sitka, Alaska, was greatly influenced by Imperial Russian sovereignty over the North Pacific. It was built in 1842 as the official house of Russian Orthodox clergy. By 1969, the structure had fallen into ruin and had to be closed. The National Park Service brought the home 4 years later, spent 16 years refurbishing and restoring it to its full magnificence, and eventually opened it to the public for visits. At number 3 is Riordan Mansion. This rustic craftsman-style mansion, built in 1904 for two families who relocated from Chicago to run the Arizona Lumber and Timber Company, contains 40 rooms and more than 13,000 square feet of living space. The Central Rendezvous room's distinctive photographic style, frosted glass windows featuring picturesque views of the Southwest and portraits of Native Americans are among the stunning embellishments throughout Riordan Mansion. The mansion is now open to the public and tours are provided. At number 4 is the Arkansas Governor's Mansion. Governor Sidney McClough was the first to live at this Georgian colonial home, which was erected in 1950. This 3-story palace with a grand hall and atrium required over 300,000 bricks to finish. Former Arkansas governors Mike Huckabee and Bill Clinton both lived in this house in Little Rock. The mansion is built in the Georgian Revival colonial style. Brick is primarily used for the outside. At number 5 is Highlands Ranch Mansion. Highlands Ranch Mansion, located 20 minutes south of downtown Denver, began as a simple farmhouse in 1891. The mansion was constructed over a period of time. On the extreme east side of the current mansion, Samuel Allen Long homesteaded the land and erected a tiny stone structure that he named Rutherwood, after a beloved boyhood farm. It was expanded upon by various important owners and families, eventually becoming the spectacular 27,000 square foot home it is today. This unusual historical mansion, which has more than 14 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms, is now a perfect event venue for weddings and gatherings. At number 6 is Lockwood Matthews Mansion. The Lockwood Matthews Mansion was built between 1864 and 1868 for railroad magnate LeGrand Lockwood, who later sold it to a wealthy New York importer, Charles D. Matthews. This 62-room palace, erected during the Civil War in the city of Norwalk, was an innovative masterpiece for its time. With flowing indoor water, gas lighting and central heating, it was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1971, and it is regarded as one of the earliest and most significant Second Empire-style country houses in the United States. At number 7 is Nemours Estate. This classical French-style palace in Wilmington, Delaware, features 5 stories and 47,000 square feet of space. The residence was built in 1907 as a gift for Alfred Dupont's second wife, Alicia, and is noted for its lavish outside environment, which contains opulent gardens and stunning statues. The magnificent Nemours Estate has 200 acres of picturesque woodlands, meadows and lawns, the largest traditional French gardens in North America. Rare French furniture from the 18th century may be found in the home, along with an eclectic assortment of other priceless art, tapestries and antiques. The works of art span from ecclesiastical paintings from the 16th century through early American creations by Frederic Remington and Sidney Lawrence, a chauffeur's garage housing a collection of vintage cars, and a 77-room mansion. At number 8 is Whitehall. The 100,000 square foot Palm Beach estate was built around the turn of the century as the winter home of entrepreneur Henry Morrison Flagler, one of the co-founders of the Standard Oil Company. With spectacular marble columns decorating the front and a whopping 75 rooms inside, the New York Herald hailed it in 1902 as more wonderful than any palace in Europe, grander and more magnificent than any other private dwelling in the world. Whitehall also helped to establish Palm Beach as the winter destination for the elite. Sunshine, sand and premium real estate make Florida a popular retirement destination as well. At number 9 is Forsyth Park Mansion, one of Savannah's finest examples of 19th century Southern Gothic architecture, can be seen in this former funeral home turned luxury hotel. The palace was completed in 1888, 40 years after Forsyth Park, a 20-acre park in Savannah's historic area, which bears its name. According to designs by architects Alfred Eichberg and Hyman Whitcover, the Forsyth Park Mansion was constructed between 1888 and 1889 for Louis Caton, 1843 to 1921, a businessman from Baltimore, Maryland. Payment was $45,000. The Louis Caton House, commonly known as the Mansion on Forsyth Park, is a hotel with 126 rooms and 18,000 square feet of Romanesque Revival architecture today. You may enjoy the mansion's art museum, a full-service spa, Baroque-style guest rooms, and a unique vintage hat collection if you stay there. At number 10 is Stanrod Mansion. Drew and Emma Stanrod commissioned the construction of this Victorian home in Pocatello in 1902. The 16-room palace, built in the French Renaissance revival style, is reported to be the first in the state to have central heating and electric lighting. Marcus Grandfort, a classic revival architect, built Stanrod Mansion for $12,000 over the course of 7 years. It may not seem like much to us, but it was a lot at the turn of the 20th century. Although it is often categorised as chateau-esque, its rusticated stone, ornamental turrets and transition corbelling from the top to the lower story more closely resemble the Scottish baronial. Up until the 1950s, the Stanrod family owned the mansion. The home was bought by the city of Pocatello in 1974, who then meticulously refurbished it for use as a museum and venue for cultural activities. In 1995, the mansion was used privately once more, and it is still a home today. At number 11 is David Davis Mansion. David Davis, a Supreme Court Justice and Abraham Lincoln acquaintance, was the first inhabitant of this Bloomington mid-Victorian mansion, which was finished in 1872. The David Davis Mansion, also known as Clover Lawn, was designed by French architect Alfred Piquenard. This 3-story residence boasted 36 rooms of entertaining and living space, as well as advanced features for the time, such as a 2-way communication system and gas lighting. Justice Davis resided here until his passing in 1886. The mansion is a prime example of Gilded Age style and elegance, combining Second Empire and Italianate architectural elements. The state capitol in Springfield was created by renowned Midwest architect Piquenard. The house was built for Davis's wife, Sarah, to live in. Following his resignation from the United States Senate in 1883, David Davis himself spent the majority of his time there. The Davis family owned the home until 1960, when it was given to the state of Illinois, which now manages it as a state historic site. At number 12 is Lanier Mansion. The Lanier Mansion, considered the crown jewel of Madison, Indiana's historic district, was designed by architect Francis Costigan and finished in 1844 for industrialist James Franklin Doherty Lanier and his family. This mansion, designed in a Greek revival style, has a 2-story portico and Corinthian columns at its front door, as well as unique elements throughout the interior, such as an intricate spiral staircase. The temporary residence of Lanier features panoramic views of the Ohio River and Corinthian columns. The first story of the house has 14-foot ceilings, while the second floor has 12-foot ceilings. On the first floor, 2 double parlours are situated on one side of the hallway and the dining room and study on the other. Even though the mansion has been there for almost 100 years, it is in no way dilapidated. Indiana is also home to one of the most underappreciated American cities worth visiting. What do you think about everything? Do you want a mansion like the ones in this video for your home? Please share your thoughts in the comments with us.